Hello everybody, it's JD Rucker over at TK Car Sites, and this is tip number 1 of our series titled 7 Ways of Putting Google's Recent Changes to Work for Your Dealership. This particular tip is titled Cleaning Your House, and as you'll see in a moment, this is both extremely important and it's also extremely easy. You'll be able to watch this video and hop in and clean your house pretty quickly, less than an hour. After watching this video, you should have a spotless, clean house ready to go. So I'm going to demonstrate first what the changes were briefly and how they affect you, why your house is now important. But your house has always been there. We just haven't focused on it. It's your place's profile. It's your place's page. And up until 2 weeks ago, it was kind of important. You know, people would visit it. It was there. It was available. But now there's a big old spotlight on it right there. They're taking data from it, including phone number and address, and putting it right there in the organic listings itself. So again, there's never been a more important time, or it's never been more important to have a clean house. The house itself is your profile's page, which they get to by clicking on those stars and this link right here. Will they click? You betcha. So when they click, this is what they see, and this is your house. I'm going to show you how to clean it up. But before we get to that, I want to demonstrate one thing real quick about maps, and a lot of dealers have asked me, you know, I'm not showing up with a listing. I'm showing there organically, but I don't have a maps listing. As you can see, Homer Skelton Ford is here at the top organically for the term Memphis Ford, but the first maps listing is down here in the 4th position with Dobbs Direct and then Millington Ford, so on and so forth. What happened? Well, in this particular case, Memphis Ford is technically speaking outside of the Memphis metro area. They're actually in a different state altogether. They service that area, but they're not showing up. They're not getting the places love that Google should be giving them. And I'm going to show you how to do that and how to take advantage of the various market areas where you may or may not be showing up. So first and foremost, let's give them something to show. Let's go ahead and I'll just click on this one, Dobbs Direct. I'll show you what you need to do. When you go to your page, your places page, you'll see right here it says edit this place. If you're the owner, you'll be able to click on that, sign in, and edit it really quickly. If you're not the owner, call me and I'll show you how to become the owner, because sometimes the maps may have been created by an internet manager in 2003 and all of a sudden you don't have access. We can fix it, but it's not easy, and it's not something that we want to cover right here. What we do want to cover is how to clean your house and how to make it visible everywhere that you want it to be visible. So when you click on that, and once you're logged in, this is what you'll see. You'll see a maps listing and all of the details. I've utilized a new one that I created for Homer Skelton Ford. I put them in Suite A at their address. This is technically, it's a different website altogether, part of the Power 5 package. They get 5 separate URLs, and this one we're using FordDealersMemphis.com, separate from their normal URL. So I put in their address, and I put in, this is very important, I put in a tracking number. Let me zoom in here real quick. I put in a tracking number, not just their standard number. We want to be able to track everything that's happening with your website as well as what's happening off your website. So this particular number is visible only through Google Places, but keep in mind that since these numbers are being integrated into the search listings themselves, people will be calling this number, and calling this number in droves, actually, believe it or not. One note that some people will still cling to, and it's not a bad practice, would be to add more phone numbers, and you would want to add your standard local number just to potentially help with listings. Again, that's debatable. I personally would like to just have a tracking number and not have any non-trackable numbers visible, but that's up to you. If you want to, you can do that right here. Put in your address, your website, and then your description. Don't spend too much time on this. A lot of people will focus on try to put in a true awesome marketing spin. Make it good, make it professional, but don't spend a lot of time, because people aren't going to read it that often, to be perfectly honest. Put in, you know, established in 1954, largest inventory in the area, whatever you want to put. But again, don't get stuck on that. I see people spend a lot of time, in many cases even paying people to write their description. It's 200 characters, not a big deal. Put something catchy, but that's it. Categories. Now this part is extremely important. Categories will determine what is happening with your like where your listings are being found. So we'll get into that here shortly, but I'm going to blow it up one more time there. All right, there we go. I have it blown up for you. You can see that it'll give you one category by default. You have to click on and add the other 4 categories. And when you're adding categories, you will want to listen to Google's suggestions. Do not deviate. So I type in Ford, and it already recommends Ford dealer. Beautiful, done. Car dealer, a lot of people search for it. Used car dealer, definitely a lot of people search for it. And in this particular case, I put in auto repair shop as well as auto parts store. All of these are recommended searches by Google, and that's very, very important. Now, let's get into making sure that your market area is covered and covered right. You know what? We're going to skip that part because I want to finish up the less important things first, and then we'll swing back up to service areas and local settings. So hours of operation, just self-explanatory. Make sure that it's all good. Make sure that you include your hours and put the hours in there properly and accurately. Payment options, cash, check, financing, photos. Add photos. Now these photos, especially the first photo, needs to be one of the dealership. Don't focus on the cars as much. If you have some press photos, some PR photos that paint your dealership in a good light, a good view of the showroom, or preferably something, a nice image of the actual dealership itself, that's great. You have up to 10. Use it. Use the space that you have, and get some videos in there. Or, I'm sorry, get some images in there. And also videos, because you get to put up to 5 videos. Now, people will often use, the marketing aspect thing tells you to put in special videos and videos. No, put in reviews. If you have customer testimonials, and you really should be getting customer testimonials, put in 5 of them. Find 5 good ones, put them on YouTube, put them on dealer TV through TK car sites. Do whatever it takes to get them the videos that they'll be able to utilize from the page. People will actually watch these videos from time to time, and listening to what their peers, other customers are saying is very important. They'll listen to that more so than they'll ever listen to advertising. Final part before we get into the geo-targeting is the additional data, and this is where you have an opportunity to make things happen. You can put in code here, and I will be happy to send you the code. The code will basically give you an anchored variation of what each one should look like. But for now, I'm just going to put in facebook.com/HomerScoutandFord for Facebook. I'm going to put in the brands carried, the pre-owned brands carried. Even though we're a Ford dealer, we want to list. We have Mazdas, we have used Chevys, we have all kinds of things. I'm going to put in the models here. What models do we have? We have Taurus, we have F-150, we have all these various models that we're putting in. But again, important aspect: put in your pre-owned brands, put in your models, and then put in your social profiles: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, preferably. If you have a blog, you can put a link to that in there as well. And these are all live links. Now, granted, they're not exactly they're not beautiful. In other words, they're not followed, which I don't want to get into that aspect of it. But they are good quality links, so throw them in there with the opportunity. Now, let's get into the important part, the geo-targeting. And I'm going to, let's see, what's the best way to do this? You know what? I'm going to set this up on a separate video screen. Bear with me 1 second because I want to zoom in. All right, now we got a zoomed in view. You'll be able to take note, and this is one of the most important parts, if not the most important part of this little tutorial. We're talking about service areas and location settings. Now, you'll notice that the default, when it asks the question, does your business provide services such as delivery or home repair to locations in a certain area? 99.9% of businesses say no, all customers come to the business location. That's true for the most part. But keep in mind that Google, as good as it is, they don't quite understand the car business. They don't understand that people are willing to drive an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just to come to your business. It's not like driving 3 hours to go to a barber shop. This is something where you technically are willing to deliver a vehicle out to wherever it needs to go. Am I right? Of course I am. So I'm going to click on yes. Yes, this business serves customers at their location. And the reason that I'm doing this is so that we can spread our geography. You'll remember before, Homer Scout and Ford did not show up in Memphis. We're going to get them to show up in Memphis because a lot of Memphis customers shop at Homer Scout and Ford. That's their biggest market, even though they're in a different state. So the default will set 20 miles radius from the current location. If you're in a metro, there's a few different times when this will actually be acceptable, but most of the time we want to put a list of areas served. Okay, so I'm going to set up, you can see I already, let me erase that so you can see what I'm talking about. List of areas served, I'm going to put in Memphis, Tennessee. And when I add that, it finds it and it includes what they consider to be the Memphis metro area in the map. I'm also going to put in, of course, our home city, Olive Branch, Mississippi. And you'll watch over here, as soon as it goes, that, there we go. The map expands out a bit to include Olive Branch. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I'm going to grab every city within a 300-mile radius and plug it in here. Don't. Be thoughtful, be understanding, and think from the perspective of the customer, because if you don't, then you can actually hurt yourself. In other words, if you get too ambitious and start spreading your maps listings out well beyond what's realistic, you actually have an opportunity to get flagged and or marked as irrelevant, and you could actually hurt your listings. Keep it local, keep it realistic, I guess is the best way to put it. Here's Millington, Tennessee. That's probably about 30 miles away. Well, that's definitely realistic. Millington, Tennessee. Add it, and watch the map expand out. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I want to just get the majors. We've got Germantown, Tennessee. Let's add that one. Germantown, Tennessee. Add. Oops. Was it not in Tennessee? It might not be in Tennessee. Point is, I mean, you get the point. You understand what we're doing here. We're trying to make it to where our listings are visible and present in every place that's relevant. I know that this one, that's got to be Mississippi. Let's go Holly Springs, Mississippi. Holly, oops, not Molly. Holly Springs, Mississippi. And add. There we go. Now the map expands out. Hernando, Mississippi. Hernando, Mississippi. Add. Expands out a little bit more. And I think that you get the point. Now we have a nice area that we'll be able to attack. And once this is all approved and Google looks at it and accepts it, then this listing can then be listed in Memphis, in Germantown, in Millington, in Holly Springs. When people do search for Hernando Ford, hopefully our listing will pop up right there. That's pretty much it. Again, this is JD Rucker. This is part 1 of our continuing series. And I urge you to watch videos 2 through 7, and we'll also have some follow-up and recap videos. One last thing, I'm going to be posting answers to questions because we've been getting questions in droves. I mean, I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have about 40 questions that went unanswered from our initial webinar on this topic. So we'll be answering those questions as well as giving you more tips on how to utilize the new changes at Google and make them work for your dealership. JD Rucker, TK Car Sites, thank you very much.